What up is Marcus Dynasty Football Dads? We have a DeAndre Swift jersey. This way. So when we hit 2,000 subscribers, I'm just going to turn this a little bit. When we hit 2,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving it away to one of you guys as we continue to build and grow this channel here. The next housekeeping item, if you are a contender or a rebuilder, put your trades below in the comment box or your trade offers in the comment box. I think this is such a crucial time, and if you didn't watch the end part of last video, you're here because of the preview of week 10 already. I can't believe it's week 10. But you need to start making trades. This is for the contenders. This is for the rebuilders. You're going to be splitting off into two groups here. You don't want to be stuck in the middle. And so this is a huge, crucial time, and you have to do these trades before people get injured, before basically the demand might even go up for some more of these running backs and wide receivers, as these contenders you're gonna start building. One person's gonna make a trade, and you're like, crap, now they're better than me. I need to make a trade. It's gonna be a war out there. It's gonna be fun. All right, Ravens, Dolphins. What are we gonna do here? Lamar Jackson. He's a start automatically. Marquise Brown is a start. And Rashad Bateman is a flex play here because Rashad Bateman has been getting targets, 5-6 targets, and he's been getting 50, 60 yards in there. And Mark Andrews is a start as well. When it comes to the Dolphins, Gaskins, again, he hit like 20 rushes for 34 yards. It was just ridiculous. But he's going to get a ton of carries. I think this is a Waddle start game, and that's about it. That's really about it. Waddle's going to have a lot of short ADOT targets, average depth of targets, and so that's what you're going to be looking at when it comes to Waddle. I'm not starting really anybody else. When it comes to Saints and Titans, we do have news on Kamara. Kamara had a knee sprain, so that might be a little bit of a concern. Mark Ingram might get more carries here as the quarterback situation is still a mess, and wide receiver Marquis Callaway is the only wide receiver that has done anything, but I'm still not going to be playing him in most leagues. Titans, though, you kind of saw the backfield. The backfield, they tried putting Adrian Peterson into that Derrick Henry role, but he did not look good, honestly. We'll see if he starts to get back into that kind of football shape, but he looked 36, and that's kind of a concern. So Jeremy McNichols might be the running back to want to own there, even though that he is more of a passing down back. I'm starting Tannehill, even against the Saints defense, and I'm starting A.J. Brown for sure. Julio, again, you almost have to unless you have some. Actually, I shouldn't say you almost have to. There are a lot of leagues that people have Chases on a bye, but there's a lot of teams that will have Devontae Smith or Julio, and they're debating that. And I'm just going to take Devontae Smith, or they're maybe even debating Bateman or Julio. In this case, right now, I'm going to actually be putting Julio more into like that wide receiver 3 flex spot just until he can get healthy. He just doesn't look himself. He's been running better routes last week against the Rams, but just does not look like himself yet. Bills, Jets, that was a fluke for Josh Allen. Josh Allen was getting chased by Josh Allen, and Josh Allen was dominating Josh Allen. And so Bills, I'm starting my normal Bills. If Zach Moss is out for this game, then I'm going to flex Singletary just because of the Jets' horrible defense. And so you saw what Jonathan Taylor just did with even like not a bum knee, but like he got a knee contusion, I would say, and was out for half a quarter between the end of the first and beginning of the second half, and still dominated. My RB1 in Dynasty, and pretty much has been for a little while here. If you haven't followed the channel, he's been. I talked about how I would rather have him over potentially the CMC and the Cooks and stuff in the beginning of the year. But that's all right. Now I think everyone's starting to catch on now. Sometimes it's just you got to put your flag, and sometimes you got to make a risk, and so sometimes it works. Jets. Elijah Moore is the only wide receiver that might do anything, but right now I'm just kind of holding off on expectations. Mike Davis? No, Mike Davis? Mike White. I don't know why I went Mike Davis. Mike White. I forget. They have quarterbacks every single week. Mike White. He is the starting quarterback at this point. So I will start Michael Carter. I think he's a good start here. He gets a lot of passing down back with Michael Carter, or with Mike White. Man, Michael and Mike and whatever. Lots of Mikes. Michael is like the most common, I think, American name, or at least it was 15, 20 years ago. My dad's name is Mike. Heck, I know so many different Mikes. Mikes and Nicks are like all in our family. We have like 3 Nicks too. I'm like, geez, can we get a little bit more creative, people, or stop marrying people with the name Nicks and Mikes? Anything else with Jets? Not really. No, I'm not starting Mike White. Lions, Steelers. Pat Freiermuth has been hot. I've talked about Pat Freiermuth being one of my favorite pickups. In fact, I needed 9 yards to win a matchup, and he got 2 touchdowns, so that was pretty cool. I needed 8 yards, and he got 9 yards. Sorry, like not right away, but pretty close to right away. And that it's always nice to have that ease of like, whew, I won that matchup. But I'm starting Deontay. Claypool's hurt. I'm not going to be really playing. If he's healthy, I'm playing him because it's Lions. And you're starting Swift. You're starting Hawkinson, and if you have Hawkinson versus Freiermuth, which I have that debate right now, I've been going back and forth, but Ebron should be back, and if he is back, then TJ Hawkinson is the start over Freiermuth at this point. And right now, I mean, if you can get some value, Freiermuth plus something to get a good valuable player, I would definitely do it. Rookie tight ends they're up and down, and you even see Kyle Pitts, the generational talent, he still has an up and down season. Jags and Colts. Trevor Lawrence, sprained ankle. We'll see if he's playing. James Robinson's still healing up, and we'll see if he's playing. There's so much. But, I mean, James Robinson, you're playing if he's healthy. Carlos Hyde, you're not really playing if he's the one that's there. In my opinion, I think Hyde, my biggest kind of points has been Hyde, and I don't like the Eagles running backs at the last couple weeks. We'll get to the Eagles probably tomorrow, but just kind of a spoiler, I don't like Howard. I actually have a bet with my dad on Howard versus Scott because I hate them both. Not hate them both. I just like them both, and made it just a weird bet. And I'll get to you about that one, but that's the tomorrow spoiler. Where are we at? Jags Colts. Yeah, I gotta put my mouse back on it. So Jags and Colts. You're starting Jonathan Taylor. Boom. RB basically one on the season. And if Cook is in trouble, then definitely probably RB1 for the rest of the season. Michael Pittman, you're starting. He's an easy start in this situation. That's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, Kirsten Wentz is a start. He's been a low end QB1 the last couple weeks, and I've had him and Dak the last couple of weeks in a lot of dynasty leagues. I've been picking up Wentz because he's been undervalued, and I have Dak in a lot of dynasty leagues. Dak was a guy that I bought super low after, it was like his rookie year or something like that. So I've had him for a little while in some leagues, and so him being hurt last year, now this year, I've had to debate between Dak and Wentz, and I've just been going safe. I've been just doing Wentz, and especially with matchups against the Jaguars. You saw the Jets last week. I could easily see 2-3 more touchdowns for Wentz being super safe play. It being a low-end QB1 versus Dak still trying to figure it out. That being said, if you feel like you're a huge underdog, then I would definitely be doing Dak just as the high upside. Bucks, Washington. Leonard Fournette is a start here against Washington's horrible defense. Washington's just been bad. And so you're starting Mike Evans, you're starting any other wide receiver if he's healthy. Brown doesn't look like he's healthy. Godwin doesn't look like he might be healthy. He might be out, which is kind of a alarming thing right at the end here. And so Terry McLaurin is a start. And and Antonio Gibson, I think, is going to have a hopefully better, he'll look more healthy. But this is not the game that you want to play against the Bucs. The Bucs stop everybody usually rushing besides Khalil Herbert. So at this point, I'm just tempering expectations on everyone. And you are starting Tom Brady, who is the GOAT. And that's about it. Let's see. Do I want to do any more? Let's see. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 2, 4, 6, 8 for tomorrow. We'll go through some tomorrow. We'll go probably through some reaction of Thursday Night Football. So let me know what trades that you are deciding on. And so one of my big trades that I've been working on a Cooper and Devontae Smith trade in one of my dynasty leagues. I'm a team that has disappointed. But I think that, I would say most of my dynasty leagues, I would say I'm in 4, 5 of them. And so 2 of them I am dominating. And so I'm working on contending. 3 of them I'm doing that. One of them, I'm in no man's land. I had Chubb, and I had J.K. Dobbins and Javonte Williams, and I sold my first as part of the trade to get Javonte Williams. And so Javonte hasn't, and so I'm just telling you this, if you don't care, you can just click off right now. But I'm just telling you what my thought process is. I have Cooper, I have Sutton, I have Sutton, Cooper, Godwin, and I feel like I always start the wrong wide receiver there. I've actually lost 2 matchups because I picked the wrong dang wide receiver, and both times it's because I benched Sutton for Godwin and Cooper, which I don't know if you can be that heartbroken about it, but it does suck. And so when I look at it that way, I'm a team that is 3-6, and I don't foresee myself competing with some of the other teams in my conference and division. So and this is a 16-team league, so this is a huge league. And so now I'm working on trying to just get younger. And so trying to see if I can get like a Devontae Smith type, where a team that is looking to win absolutely now might value Cooper more than Devontae Smith. And then maybe I'll have to give up some more value with it. But it's just, we'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated. And then there's one, the Dynasty Dads League. That's my team that's kind of bad. And then I have a Dynasty Dads League. I'm 5-4. And I picked super young players and players I like Deshaun Watson and J.K. and Swift. And I just picked a young roster with older picks in the middle of the startup. We just did a startup. And so I drafted Fournette, Connor. Who else is there? I have Barkley, but he hasn't done much. But Julio. And so these are guys that I'm 5-4. I'm okay with competing because my weakest spot is probably still wide receiver. And I understand if I get pick 10, let's say, or pick 8, let's say I get bounced right out, or let's say I get bounced 7 or 8, I get bounced right out of the playoffs right away. I'm okay with getting a wide receiver, 106, 107, which is probably going to be one of the top wide receivers in the 2022 class. And the quarterbacks are not great in the 2022 class. There's 2 good running backs. And so if one of those falls, maybe I do that and I trade away Barkley for a wide receiver. I trade away maybe Swift. I'm trying to trade Connor at this point. Just trying to really get younger in that case because I am 5-4, but I feel like there are some teams that I am competing against that are just in more win now territory. I literally talked yesterday about how Connor and Jordan Howard, who I also have on the trading block, I'm willing to trade him. And I have Odell, and he's on the trading block as well. I got a lot of people on the trading block. The whole team's on the trading block, basically. I have those 2 versus Cook and Kamara, and I easily almost outscored those 2, which is ridiculous in fantasy football. And that's not gonna that's gonna happen 1 out of 10 times. So I need to prepare myself that. And my matchup's coming along too. It's weird because I have a really tough matchup this week. I think it's the annexation of Puerto Rico. Shout out to annexation of Puerto Rico, whoever owns that one. And then I have 2 not easier matchups, but teams that I definitely have losing records. And so they might be selling off a little bit and going into the future at this point when we get closer to the trading deadline. So I could easily, let's just say, if I win those 2, which is still a win's never guaranteed, but that would put me at 7-5. 7-5. That's 7 wins is probably going to be close to bottom of the 6 teams in the playoffs. So we'll see. Again, when you could easily just go at this point tank. I mean, but at this point at 5-4, it's almost like, I don't know, like I could tank and go and try to get a top 4 pick, but that doesn't really do me much in the future. I could trade back from 104 to 107, but why not throw a chance out there? If Barkley gets healthy, I'd have Barkley, Swift, Dak, Matt Ryan, Godwin. I would have Jalen Waddle. I already traded for Jalen Waddle, selling some veteran piece or 2 away for Jalen Waddle. And I'm willing to do the same in this league as well. So if you're hearing this now and you're like, hey, I need a running back, James Conner is available. And if you really want a lesser of a running back for a week or 2, I do have Jordan Howard. So there you go. That's me saying they're on the trade block. You already know. All right, this is Marcus Dynasty Fun. Peace out. We'll see you tomorrow.